Representative Roger Kirby. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you, Councilwoman Sue Ham.
Call me Sue.
Will you please call me Roger?
We'll
Thank
do.
you.
We'll do. Listen, I just had to get you in here. I'm thankful that you accepted the invite. They have redrawn the lines, and now Williamsburg County is potentially going to fall up under the umbrella of the counties that you represent. So I wanted to come in. I've done my background on you. Trust me. I was playing private detective to make sure you are who you say you are. And I've talked to a lot of people. I've watched a lot of things, and they've had nothing but great things to say about you. You're not one of those persons who are in office that waits and come out 6 months before election, before you're in the public's eye or doing things in the community. And I thank you for that. So what I wanted to do was actually get you on this show, get you in here and just have a candid conversation. And let's just talk about who the real Roger Kirby is, some of the things he's done and some of the things he intends to do. So let's just start with the basic question. Who are you? Family man, community man, who are you?
Thank you, Sue.
Yeah.
And thank you for taking time to speak with me. And I've been excited about coming over and saying hello and talking to your audience. So I'm Roger Kirby. I live in Lake City. I have a real estate and appraisal business, have had since I think we opened in 91.
Wow.
My wife of 33 years is a pharmacist in Lake City. I have 3 daughters who are all grown. One is a trauma ICU nurse.
Wow.
One is a biology teacher at the local high school. And the other is a new mother and also works with me in our family business. So I've been...
Well, wait a minute. Didn't you just tell me you have a grandbaby?
A new granddaughter. She will be 11 months old tomorrow.
How amazing.
And she took her first steps this weekend.
Did you catch that?
And I got to see it.
Oh, in between campaigning?
In between campaigning. Coming home from Berkeley County on Saturday.
Good deal. Good deal.
So you mentioned the new district, House District 101. We've just come through in the state redistricting, which was a result of the recent 2020 census.
Right.
There were incredible growth of population in sections of our state. And then there were other sections where, like Williamsburg County, where we actually lost some population. Well, with the one man, one vote idea, we have 124 House districts. Of the 124, each have to have the same number, population wise. And that number has grown significantly since 2010. It's really about 25% larger population base. So our districts had to dramatically change. And part of that transformation is now that my previous district, District 61, now resides in Horry County, where they had an 88,000 population increase.
And growing.
And growing.
Yeah.
So now the new District 101 includes portions of my previous House district and portions of the old 101 House district and new areas down in Berkeley County from District 102. So it's been interesting to meet a lot of new people. It's been exciting.
And it's funny that you say that, because we talked about this, I think, about a week ago with campaigning. It's actually fun because you get to meet the people.
Absolutely.
And once you meet the people, now the door is open. You can come back and say, hey, and that's just as important as the initial meeting, is following up and coming back into the community.
Absolutely. And there are so many symmetries between Florence County and Williamsburg County and Berkeley County. We are still very much a rural area where family's important. Where we rely on each other in our communities. So I'm really excited. I'm excited about the possibilities of this opportunity to represent this area. If the good people so see it, to allow me their vote in June. This election will happen June 14th. In the Democratic primary. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get out and meet people.
Yeah.
And I did not know Sue Ham until I began this quest.
Yeah.
So it's just it's been really interesting, and I'm excited. I do like campaigning.
And and it's so funny because I realized that in meeting, getting to meet you, we have a lot of similarities.
Yes.
We have one grandchild. We're into the arts.
Absolutely.
You've done some Broadway stuff, off Broadway stuff. You've done some acting with the Lake City Community Theater. You have a daughter that's in biology, that's a physical therapist. I have a son that's in med school. So it's a lot of similarities. And you're an appraiser.
Yes.
And I'm a real estate investor. So
absolutely.
And we're both serving the community in the capacity as councilwoman and as a representative, and which you've been there for 8 years. And that's great to know that you have the experience, which is probably why, and I'm sure you're going to tell me, how in the world were you able to so fast get Wi-Fi in places like Lake City and Pamplico and other parts of Florence County? Because we know that a lot of times rural America is often forgotten.
Listen, Sue, that was probably been this COVID pandemic really highlighted the incredible inadequacies and inequities that we had in distribution of broadband and internet access. When the decisions were made to close in-person learning in schools and send our kids home, we had an incredible percentage of children who went home to do online learning with inadequate or unworkable Wi-Fi solutions.
Or
non-existent. And that was just a glaring issue. Thank goodness the federal government stepped in to help with funding. The state of South Carolina stepped in to help with funding. And I'll tell you, I consider a success story. In Florence County, we had large areas of rural Florence County, areas between Johnsonville and Pamplico, and on the other side of between Pamplico and Florence, and near Timmonsville, and areas around Lake City without Wi-Fi or inadequate Wi-Fi. We were able to partner with Spectrum Communications. And I would like to brag a minute, if I may, on the Florence County and the leadership that we have there. We were one of the darkest, if you will, coverage for internet in the state. By the end of next year, we anticipate having almost the #1 coverage for any county in the state of South Carolina. That was the result of a $25 million opportunity that we were able to work through to make that happen. And that's ongoing now. And I'm really proud of that. So
you should brag on that.
I'm really proud of that.
You should tell that story a lot more often. And I'm looking forward. So I'm kind of putting this on your shoulders here. You doing the same thing in Winsburg County, working with the officials that are in office who are already working with Congressman Clyburn, because you've been through the process. So you can bring so much knowledge and experience to help us speed that up to get it into the rural areas in Winsburg County.
Well, I'll tell you, you're fortunate in Williamsburg County because you've got Farmers Telephone.
Yes.
And they are recognized statewide as one of the most premier service providers. And they were just given an award a few weeks ago.
I saw you highlighting it on Facebook.
I did. I'm proud of it. And I'm proud of the people in the leadership there at Farmers Telephone. There's a lot of opportunity. And it just shows the importance of working together and building teams and moving things forward for the people of the areas you represent.
I heard something there, and I know this has been a central theme for you: unity,
Absolutely.
teamwork.
Absolutely.
And I know your father was prior military 35 years.
He was.
And you told me he was a drill sergeant. I had the pleasure of meeting both your parents, lovely people. I'm prior military. My father was prior military, and he was a drill sergeant. And I really came to understand how important unity, cohesion, a mission, and teamwork is. And that's been your central theme. And can you tell me why is that so important to you, and how do you plan to implement that here in Williamsburg County like you've done in other counties?
Listen, I think it's one of the most important elements of progress and success is developing a unified vision, developing teams all going in the same direction, pulling for the same solutions. Unity is probably one of the more difficult things that we can do, because we come at issues from very different perspectives.
Yeah.
We all have different ideas about how to get to where we want to go. But we have to have meaningful conversations, and we have to present our ideas as a unified body in order to really make substantive changes.
Absolutely.
If you see my campaign signs and you see my website, and rogerthatsc.com, by the way, if you see that, you'll see that there's that unity is one of my primary themes, I guess, because I think it's the only way to really make progress.
It is, because at the end of the day, you needed to ensure progress, but you also have to be a person who wants that unity, a person who wants to work with others and realize that even though you're headstrong about your ideas and the things that you want to move forward, if it's not great for the team, you have to be willing to fall back, because we have to remember the team and the mission is paramount.
Absolutely.
And you're that person, and I've heard that. I've been told that by people in the community, people in a position of leadership, that you are that person to work with. And I want to go into, because we're talking about teamwork, we have a new hospital coming. And I know that took some serious teamwork, because I'm sure there was opposition. I know that there was opposition from Williamsburg County, and I'm sure there was opposition from Lake City. So how are you able to work with how are you able to first work with the community to get them to buy into the idea? Because that's important. And then how are you able to work as a team member to ensure that happened? Because I understand that you and Senator Ronnie Sabb, you worked very closely on that.
We did. So the glaring issue for both communities, after the 2015 flood, Williamsburg County Hospital was flooded. Then it had ended up operating out of a FEMA funded mobile type hospital facility, which
modulars,
was absolutely, and which was my hat is off, and full compliments go to the leadership and all the personnel. Williamsburg County Hospital, incredible. Lake City Community Hospital, similarly, during the COVID pandemic, did not know, hospitals were closing, and these smaller hospitals, we've lost rural hospitals everywhere. We knew we had to have a hospital, a central hospital. We needed a new facility. And Senator Sabb and I began working on this a number of years ago, along with many other people. And it ended up initially, the group, which is now Prisma Health, was going to potentially be a partner. That didn't work out after a lot of time and a lot of investment. And then finally, MUSC the bill fit.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of issues to work through. There were a lot of differences of opinion
Mm-hmm.
between Lake City and Kingstree,
Mm-hmm.
where to put it, how to manage it. But with everybody coming together
Mm-hmm.
as a team,
There's that unity.
unity,
Yeah.
we were able to work through and are still working through
Yeah.
some of the issues that were related. But the end result is this time next year, our areas are going to have a brand new facility.
Brand new spanking
The only
facility.
new hospital being built in the state of South Carolina, I might add,
wow.
right now.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Wow.
teamwork.
That's amazing.
Teamwork, right?
Yeah. Every time I pass by it, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest with you. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I'm glad that MUSC took it over. I had to go into the hospital a couple of years back, and I was under the care of MUSC in Charleston, and just amazing. And then just the MUSC branches here locally, amazing. So, everything works out for the good. So.
Absolutely. And so Florence, Carolina Hospital System's now MUSC.
MUSC, absolutely.
We have MUSC in Charleston.
Yes.
And now we're going to have MUSC Black River between Lake City and Kingstree.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that's, access to health care, obviously. One of the core functions, I think, of government is to assure safety and access to health care, education, infrastructure. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Infrastructure. Let's talk about that. People are always complaining about there are no jobs, which I really break down to people a lot. There are jobs.
Yes, there are.
There are a lot of jobs. And if I, start breaking it down and showing them where the jobs are, then it's like, okay, we'll back off a little bit. There are jobs. But when they come at me about the roads, I'm not well equipped to fight that battle. And one of the things is there's state and county and private roads.
Yes.
And of course, everyone holds county officials accountable for all the paved roads. And that's simply not the case. There's state roads. Can you tell us, and will you let us know, will you be an advocate to get monies to help repair the roads here in Williamsburg County, and how that works? Is there any money being allocated at this moment? So
let's get in the weeds a little bit on this.
Okay.
So South Carolina historically has underfunded its road systems dramatically.
Yeah.
So we passed in the state legislature a gas tax several years back. It's not fully implemented yet, but it's well on the way, which was basically 2 cents per gallon, with an increase for 6 years of 2 cents, which gave us a 12 cent at the end of it per gallon tax on the wholesale level. When we started that, South Carolina had the 48th lowest overall method of paying for its road systems.
Wow. That explains a lot.
In the country. And had, I think, the 13th highest number of road miles in the country. You couple those two issues together.
It's pretty bad.
So we've neglected, through lack of funding, our entire state road systems for years, for the past 20 years.
Right. And that's one of the things I try to explain is like this problem didn't just present itself.
No. This has been ongoing. This has been not only ongoing, but worsening.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
No, it has. Absolutely. I mean, just drive a farm to market road in Williamsburg or Florence County or Berkeley County for that matter. So this is not going to be an immediate fix by any stretch of the imagination, but we're on a path now of remediation, if you will, so that, for instance, the state allocation of funds, let's just look at Williamsburg County per se. So Williamsburg County receives a bundle of money every year that is managed through the Williamsburg County CTC, County Transportation Fund.
Okay.
That number for this year will be well over double what it has been.
Wow.
Now, it's still inadequate, okay?
Right, but
Don't
hey,
get too excited.
We're getting somewhere, though.
But it's progress.
Yes,
and it's slow progress,
Yeah.
but it is progress. And it's really, that's why it's so incumbent on our leaders
Mm-hmm.
to be able to look across the county, and it would be great if we could just go out and pave all the roads,
Yes,
but that's not going to happen.
It's not. It's very expensive.
It's very expensive.
Right now, the
Extremely
staffing
expensive.
is low. And like you said, it's a problem that's been ongoing for 20 years, and it's not just going to be fixed overnight. But the beauty is, at least the money is now starting to be funneled.
We are moving in the right direction.
Right.
We are moving in the right direction.
Okay.
And I would just ask our residents again to please be patient,
Yeah.
because this is not something we can fix overnight. No one can.
Right.
But we can continue to move forward.
Thank you so much for not giving me a political answer with regards to the roads. And even more importantly, thank you for not dodging the question. You actually answered it. So thank you for all that you're doing with that. Let's move into education. How do you feel about education, and what are your plans as far as helping Winsburg County with elevating the education here?
Boy, you really touched on the big one there. You can't talk about economic development without first talking about education and the importance of education. I'm really interested and have been interested in promoting opportunities, particularly for early childhood education.
Yes.
Because the studies have shown us, if we don't have adequate early childhood, and I'm talking about now K3,
Yes.
K4 education.
Yes.
We have to get to these kids. We have to get to they are our future, right?
Absolutely.
And we've got to get to them early, and we've got to give them robust options for education. I have been a proponent for public education. I'm a product of public education, and so are my children. And I really am very interested in that. I'm excited about some of the initiatives that we have now with our job training that we have, the continuum in Lake City, our technical college systems, Williamsburg County. We need to be sure that we support these initiatives and continue to not only support but promote within our populations so that they're taking advantage of the opportunities that they have. There are a number of jobs out there available if we just have to be sure that our people have the skills that they need to succeed.
That's it.
And so, absolutely, thank you for asking that. I think that's one of the most important functions, in my opinion, of government is to provide meaningful opportunities in education.
Thank you
for our public.
Thank you. It's very important. I'm actually a part of an organization called Mission Read, and we have a bodacious goal to have 90% of all the students in Georgetown County and Winsburg County reading on grade level by the time they get to third grade within the next 10 years. So I'm looking forward to inviting you in to be a part of that.
That's a phenomenal initiative. And I think I'm for all of the above approach to helping our youth have a good, firm foundation so that they can move forward in the educational process.
That's where it begins.
It absolutely does.
And so I'm looking forward to you partnering with that. Both the school districts are involved. County government is involved. And it's very near and dear to my heart. Education is very important.
Absolutely.
And, just talking to you off camera, I get the sense that it is for you, just based on some of the things that you do that doesn't involve politics.
Absolutely.
But just because you know how important education is, you do those things. You seem like you want to say something else.
Well, I just was going to say, one thing, Sue, and I know that this is important to you, but I think that we also need to maintain arts in our education system. I think that the arts, they hold a special place for me, and I know they do for you.
Absolutely.
But I think in general, having the ability to have access to arts and education just provides for such a more well-rounded person, and it improves critical thinking, it improves quality of life. I mean, there's so many
team
things.
building,
Oh yes,
leadership,
and back to that word, unity.
Absolutely.
It allows us to be able to grasp that and to move forward with that.
Yeah. I said education was going to be the last thing I talked about, but I have to say this. Communication and unity is so important to me. I can't even stress how important it is. And to be able to have a delegation that speaks with county council, that speaks with the town council, that speaks with the mayors, communicate what's going on in Columbia to these rural areas, it's needed. It's just like the air we breathe. We need it. How do you plan to, because I've done the research and I've been told, and I've watched, you actually communicate and you bring back what's happening in Columbia to the people in your district. Will you do that for Williamsburg County? Will you be a face and a voice? Will you be an advocate for us in Columbia? And then will you bridge the gap of communication and share with us what's going on in Columbia? But not only share with us, solicit ideas that you can take forward and campaign on for us.
Absolutely. This is I think the key to having any success. And I think I'd mentioned to you earlier, there aren't too many weeks that go by when I don't have conversations with my county administrator, with my county council people, with my mayors, to just get, so we're all on the same page. We're all a team pulling in the same direction. And that's certainly something I would hope to be able to emulate here, to promote
well,
here.
You have my full support.
To be able to talk to Councilwoman Ham and say, hey, Sue, what are y'all working on that we can help with on the state level? But not only that, I think that this gets back to the whole idea of trying to come together to work toward common purposes. The one thing I'll say, it's so important to have the information and ideas from the citizens, because that seat that I sit in Columbia, it's not mine.
It's a citizen seat.
It is the people's seat.
Yeah.
And I can't adequately represent the people if I don't know what their issues are, right?
Absolutely.
So we have to develop forums, and we have to develop methods to keep those lines of communication open, so that I can do the job that the people who elect me, expect me to do, and rightfully so.
Right. Wow. Well, I'm going to hold you to that.
Deal.
Because I'm going to do my best to do everything to see that you are representing Williamsburg County. I feel like we'll be represented well. I feel like we'll have great team members assembled, and we'll be able to do some things. So I'm going to allow you for the last minute or so to just look at that center camera and tell people how they can connect with you and why they should vote for you and when the election is.
Thank you, Sue. Yeah. And thank you again for this opportunity.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for taking time out
to
stop through. It won't be the last time.
Great. I'll hold you to that.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this election is going to be very, very important. It is in June 14th, Democratic primary. I can't do this without your support. I can't do this without your prayers, and I certainly can't do this without your vote. So I would ask you to give me our candidacy your consideration, and I would be honored if you would allow me the opportunity to represent you, to continue my service in the South Carolina House of Representatives for the newly drawn House District 101. June 14th primary. Please visit our website. It has all the information as far as where you live. Are you in the district? Are you not in the district? We have access for voter registration online on that website. The website is rogerthatsc.com. ROGERK, RogerThatSC.com. please visit us. We have information in there where you can put information in about who you are and ask questions of the campaign, and even schedule visits. And we would love to come out and say hello to you personally. So thank you, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to tell you a little bit about what we're trying to do for District 101. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our next House of Representative for District 101, Mr. Roger Kirby.